A little quick update to my game. I added comments and these all naturally captured into this planet, which is kind of funny. Most of them aren't captured. Most of them are just kind of going out through space. I was trying to put asteroids or comets in orbit of this planet. I can do that at certain points in time. I can't right now though because the planet's velocity is not the right spot. So like right here, the planet's velocity will be at the appropriate spot because like the comments I haven't wrote any custom code for it, so they spawn with a fixed velocity. Um, so I've just basically just been putting a few comments in here and then letting them orbit. And like occasionally the moon will grab them and throw them out, and like half of them don't even capture because I put them in at the wrong velocity. Um, these ones staying close to the planet were all put in at a pretty good velocity. These ones far away were just nothing. Like if I try to put one in right there, it's just gonna go crashing because there's a preset velocity. But the reason I did the comets test is because I wanted to make sure I could transfer between different spheres of influence. So like each sphere of influence acts entirely on the object. This doesn't act on the object at all. The only reason it has velocity is because of what was I saying? Yeah. So if they come with a preset velocity, so like I just put one right there, right? So if I put them in, like when the planet's at the right velocity, if I put them in, they will actually be able to achieve stable orbit for like, I have like maybe like a 10-second window I can actually do that. If I put them in too late, they will either escape or they will crash into the planet. I'm not good enough with my timing to get them to orbit one of the moons yet, but I do believe it is possible. We'll see if like one hits the moon. Okay, so this one's gonna hit the moon sphere of influence, it looks like. So hang on, if we change to, oh no, we can't. It's not gonna hit. But you can see like what sphere of influence is, its relative speed to the planet, its relative speed to the sun. And the important thing is that like there's no loss in velocity, which actually the way I wrote it was quite a complicated thing to do. Like if you try to write all these rules with traditional Newtonian physics, unfortunately, that kind of forces your things to be proportional scale to the to our solar system, and like relative in our solar system, the moon orbits like really close to the planet. It orbits pretty far away, but the way it works, if you're traditional Newtonian physics, the moon would have to be like orbiting like right here or something, Planet would have to be smaller. The gravities would have to be less. Everything would be moving slower. So I had to write my own programs, kind of going along something like patch conics, where each sphere of influence acts on the the object separately. But the problem you might have is like, okay, well, this thing is moving in this sphere of influence of the sun, right? So the anything orbiting this also has to be moving the sphere of influence of the sun, or else it's going to be left behind, because this thing's moving fast, it's leaving this behind. Like if Doppler effect. So if you had a comet right here, it'd be forced into the planet. You had a comet right here, it'd be pulled away just by the planet's relative velocity. So I had to add a custom orbit function that dealt with when you enter a sphere of influence, your velocity is calculated. All the gravity is calculated independent of the sun, but it still adds the sun's effect on this planet. So you can have a circular orbit still. Ordinarily, you'd have like a perturbed orbit because the sun would pull on it more here, and it would not pull on it as much over here. But that kind of makes for a not fun game if your orbits are all weird perturbed, and also makes some of the math harder. um, this fixes that problem. It's actually quite a difficult thing to program. Here we can zoom in on comet pretty close. This is about the size of a spaceship, I think. I think I'll make my spaceships about this size. Um, so yeah, imagine like having like orbiting this planet, and you get your spaceship and like enemy or like like Star Wars, they come up and they're like shooting at you and you're shooting at them. It's gonna be like a game of chess, I think. Oh, hang on, is this guy gonna reach it? Okay, hang on. Yes. Okay, and we can see its sphere of influence changed. It's manipulated by the gravity a little bit, and sphere of influence changed back. So it looks like the planet slightly. I think this thing was already on a trajectory out, but it looks like the planet slightly energized this thing, just flinging it out of the planet. Oh, this one's still keeping all of its things. It doesn't have any moons, so all of its comets are going to stay in stable orbits because all of its comets arrived in stable orbits. I'm actually really surprised this guy has so many comets just naturally. Because if you look at all the other planets, even planets with bigger spheres of influence, I don't think a single one of them captured an asteroid. Maybe this one. Yeah, this one captured a few. Um, yeah, this guy didn't capture any. It's pretty big guy. He's pretty far out too. And then we got like a little comets in orbit of the sun. Um, that would never even touch the planet. I can tell. I have measurements for him. Oh, this is an awesome game. I think people are really gonna like this game. It's really fun. Look at these comets. Like none of them, very few of them actually stayed where they're supposed to be. But I think using like more precise math, I'll be able to place these accurately. Because right now I'm just kind of placing them with my mouse, so I have to wait for the planets to be at the correct velocities. And like here, you got this guy's moving in two different velocities basically. Well, he's moving relative to this. And he's also moving relative to the sun. So it just adds more things you have to account for when you're making this. Here, I think we can actually, if we wait a little bit, we'll be able to get this guy a comet. I'm pretty sure. I think like the orbital velocity for one of these things is like 4, and like comets, like look. So we gained like 4 in like 2 seconds. So we got like a 2-second window. We can place this. We may not even reach the correct velocities because we have to be correct in the x and the y. So yeah, I think we missed the correct velocities. Missed the correct velocities for this one too. Orbital velocity for this is like 14 meters per second, or 14, whatever this unit is. I guess that's pickles per second. It's actually kind of interesting because I didn't, when I wrote Newton's laws in my game, let's see if I can find it. This right here kind of looks like a traditional Newton's law, where you got gravity is your mass times the gravitational constant divided by distance. But if you notice, I didn't square the distance. Now ordinarily the gravitational field weakens as you get further out, right? Like, you got a sphere of stuff, and as it gets bigger, you need more stuff to cover it, proportional to its surface area. Like radius goes by a factor 1, surface area goes by a factor of 2, so then, or like squared, by an exponent of 2. So you need to have twice as much stuff for every unit you go that way out. But I didn't do that, so all these planets are actually orbiting at the same velocities, no matter how far away from the sun they are. So this one orbits at a velocity of 100, and this one orbits at a velocity of 100. And you still get a quasi solar system realistic. Like if I did it squared, this thing would take like 10 times longer to orbit, which that's not gonna be fun. So I have to adapt the natural laws of the universe that I can observe into a playable median. I'm still kind of impressed I got this to work. This thing probably took like 3 or 4 hours to get the comets and the moons all figured out. Like 2 or 3 different attempts, because basically what I do is it's a little bit complicated. Well, it's not too complicated, but I basically, when I'm adding the acceleration for the gravity to the object, I um I I break down the gravitational fields, um, relative velocity relative to the sun, and I add that in additional to a component of our gravity. It's not too difficult to program, but just figuring out the math again. I mean, I haven't been in like college physics in like a year or so, and they didn't really teach us. They taught us like the basic idea, but um, didn't really get good rundown. I felt. Where's that planet with the I love this guy. What's his name? Neo Biolarv. This is my favorite moon. Imagine trying to like get your spaceship in here and you just can't. Just have to deal with all these guys. Oh, see how fast that is. Imagine trying to put your spaceship in here and just constantly being attacked by this guy. Let's see. Are these at the right? None of them are at the right position right now. This is quite an interesting solar system. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching.